Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and today we have two new models from KNIFECO. This one is the ACUMINAL. Now the ACUMINAL is using, for the first time from KNIFECO, VANAX steel. They've never used VANAX before. That is awesome. Love, love, love to see it. Don't know how well they're running it or anything like that, so we will find out. But that's awesome. So if you guys don't know about VANAX, let's talk about it really quick, briefly. VANAX is one of the top tier steels. It is one of the best steels you can get on a pocket knife. Well, why is that? Well, there's a couple reasons. One, it does have good toughness. Number two, it has the best corrosion resistance you can get on a knife. So yes, you should still keep it dry and clean and maintain the blades, you know, so it doesn't, you know, so you don't have the potential to rust in the future, especially if you have corrosive stuff on the knife. But all in all, it's a steel that you can be, you know, you can be a little bit more dirty to. Like, it doesn't, typically you're not going to find any rust or patina or corrosion on VANAX steel. It is extremely corrosion resistant. The next thing is it holds a really good edge for a very long time. Now, it's debatable exactly where it sits on the scale. You know, I've seen different ratings. You know, some say it's like a 5.5 out of 10. I say it's more like a 7 out of 10, but it does depend on who's study, who's test, HRC, so on, so on, so on, what's being cut, blah, 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 blah. I'm just, you know, just leave it there. Between 5.5 and 7.5, I'm going to say, is most likely where it sits in edge retention. So that's really good edge retention. So the one thing, though, that I have found is that it seems like a medium grit edge the best. So if you're going to sharpen it up, it can take a mirror polish, no problem, but for it tends to like more of a medium grit edge, in my opinion. This one is a hand satin finish. We have a titanium frame lock handle, hidden lanyard post back there, or hidden lanyard spot. T8 hardware all the way around. Love to see that, as always. No reversible clip, though. It is a titanium mill pocket clip, and a great clip, guys. Phenomenal clip. KNIFECO is getting really, really good at doing their titanium mill pocket clips. Then if you look, you can see that groove or that track in the back spacer, which means that they better have this thing perfectly centered, right? Because if you're going to have that type of perfect, look at that. Does it get any better than that? Wow. It even lands right on the shiny spot. That's amazing. So perfect centering. The flipper tab, it is a little squared off, but it has the texturing on there, and you are relatively high up, so it allows a great leverage point. You basically do a light switch. You can kind of do a push button, but the light switch is what it really likes. Very, very good action. Very, very smooth too. It's like complete guillotine. Internal stop pins, love to see that. That's going to help with some stability side to side. Access to the lock bar could be better. This is where I think it lacks, you know, we'll go over some negatives, but they did at least give me the texturing I like. And it is actually really good texturing, by the way. Very comfortable to, this leaves for a more comfortable and more traction when you go to disengage. The ergonomics, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you can just look at it. You can see, even for like a giant hand, this is going to be great. This is a big knife. Beautiful knife, though. Good looking knife. And of course, it comes in multiple different color options, like KNIFECO usually does. A very simple knife design, mind you, but that tends to be a lot of times what people like. Heavy milling on the inside, so lots of weight relieving. But this, because of the blade shape, it's going to basically just be a phenomenal user for anybody, you know, if you like big knives. But all in all, really cool. My only negative is, one, I wish the lock bar access was better. Wish we had better lock bar access. Cut that back a little bit, leave that exposed. Plunge grind sharpening choil, I'm not going to complain about it. It's okay. Starts here, ends about right there. They did give you some life to sharpen off. No stop pin back there since it's an internal stop pin. The geometry is really good. It is a flat grind, but very, very thin behind the edge. It's going to cut extremely well. So yeah, that's really my only negative. The only other thing I'd say is I wish we would start doing lefty versions, because lefties are getting very upset about that. Next is the KNIFECO TYRO, and this is a Snecx design, which is pretty damn cool because they did the Vision together, right? And then they had the Vision FG, which in my opinion wound up being even better than the KNIFECO version, because that one was by Civivi. I did do tests from the Wii one to the Civivi ones, and 3 different versions if you guys want to go see that. We did a whole bunch of testing on it. Awesome knife. I love the locking system. This one is using the same locking system pretty much. I believe it is basically just the exact same. The one difference is it's not as long, so it is just a little bit shorter, so maybe a more compact version. I also noticed that the stop pins are quite a bit thicker. We're going to test this here in 1 second, so stay tuned. We're going to give it a couple whacks and see how it does, because theoretically this should be a nice strong lock. We have a drop point blade with a flat ground drop point blade, not the sliciest. Now it's also not thick, but they're definitely trying to hold a little bit more toughness with this, and that's probably because, you know, it being a little, it's supposed to be a little bit more of a tougher knife. Now the handle is all titanium backspacer, lanyard back there. This bar looks titanium. Oh yeah, and by the way, it does have traction on it too. I really like that. Then we have these cutouts with the polished groove around the edge. I actually like the polished groove. I think that looks cool. I wonder, man, if they could have did both transitions, like the first flat and then that little chamfered edge, that would have been cool too. The handle though, you know, having all that milling makes this thing much more lighter than it would be otherwise. The clip is a little bit of a stubby clip, but it has, you know, decent tension, so it should be fine. I don't think it'll get trapped up on that stuff. It seems like it'll work just fine for most people. Now, for action, you can do the Snecx flip, where you just pull down on the locking system. And I think this is called the, what was it? The SL Strong Locking System, I think is what it's called. But then the hole deployment, it's a small hole. Yes, I can flick it. I have no problem flicking it. I can reverse flick it. It has this triangle thing is pretty cool. However, it's a little tight to the scale, even though I can easily get it. I don't want to make it seem like it's hard. It's very easy. Very easy to slow roll. You can thumb flick it, but I just feel like it'd be a little bit better if the hole was a little bit farther out, or just give me thumb studs. But it works. You know, there's not a big deal. It is a small compact knife, but I can get a full 4-finger grip. Blade shape should be relatively easy. The tip's a little bit higher than I prefer, but you know, you'll be able to do utility cuts just fine. You know, in the belly you can slice down on stuff, and you know, decent amount of flat for slicing. The action on the closing, you know, it's just complete guillotine. You know, when you unlock it or disengage it, you know, like I said, you have the traction right there. There's a little spring pushing it up, and you can see, and it wedges in between the stop pin. Look at this, that's a big stop pin. So it wedges in between this stop pin and so it's literally falling in between the tang of the blade and this stop pin. Then this stop pin hits the spine. That, theoretically, that should be very, very strong. I went a little extra on that one. It's supposed to be the strong locking system, right? Don't call it the strong locking system unless it's going to be strong. This one did just fine, so very happy to see that. So if you're looking for a relatively tough knife for EDC use, maybe you're a worker or something like that, and you need something that's relatively tough but compact, this might be right up your alley. My only negatives right off the bat is, one, the detent for the Snecx lock could be improved. I do have some ideas of how I think it could be improved. But that doesn't matter. I just, you know, regardless, I think it could be a stronger detent, so it's not so floppy. See how it's popping out? Not that that's going to happen to you probably. It's fine. It's not that big of a deal, but it'd just be a little more satisfying. Granted, with this deployment, it might not work out as well, you know, with a stronger detent, but it'd just be nice. Anyways, the next thing, aside from that, is sharp control and plunge grind is okay. They're about right there, so you do have life to sharpen off, so I hate to complain about it too much, but it could be a little bit, oh man, does that stop pin? The stop pin lands right here. Once again, I don't like stop pins that land in this area. Granted, it's in the thicker area, so I think you're okay here. You're not going to sharpen that out, but you can't ever put your own plunge grind in, or sorry, put your own choil in. So if you do sharpen out and you start hitting this, you know, and you start creating a smile, there's not much you can do about it unless if you cut it in front, like so from here, like here forward, because remember the stop pin lands right where my nail is. So you could probably get away with doing it. So I'm not going to complain about it. It's fine. And you look like you'll have plenty of life to sharpen off. It is a little bit thicker behind the edge. So, you know, the bevel's going to be a little bigger if you lower back your edge angle and try to make it a little slicier. The only other negative I have is just like I said, the whole deployment. I'm not a big fan of the placement here. You know, like I said, it works just fine. It's just a little tight for me. It works. So, you know, these are little nitpicks, guys. This isn't like deal breakers or anything like that. All in all, I think the knife is really cool. I'd love to see the same configuration or same, you know, design with just a little bit bigger. Something where, like I said, where they'll either put a thumb stud or, you know, if you're gonna have hole deployment, it just has better access. And you could do that by cutting this back. So it's not like you have to make it wider or make the blade wider. You can just cut this back a little bit, leave a little bit more, you know, an exposed area. But all in all, very, very cool. I like it. I like quite a bit. And I can see a lot of potential here, just like I could with the Vision. And the Vision is one of my all-time favorite budget knives under $100. It's amazing. But there you guys go. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.